An absolute blockbuster for the Padres, acquiring Luis Arraez, the two-time hit king, and winning in Arizona tonight behind Dylan Cease. The Padres have won 3 straight. It's not a stunner because of A.J. Preller, but it is a stunner. There have not been many bigger trades on May 3rd or sooner. Arguably in baseball history, the Padres sending prospects that we'll discuss to Miami for Luis Arraez, who's under control through 2025. So, first things first, you're making your way in. We're starting a little early because there's so much to get to. You have to subscribe. We do this for you. If you are here, you have to subscribe. We'll react to the Luis Arraez trade and more here tonight. So subscribe. How many likes do we need tonight? I'm saying 500, Jim.
Oh, yeah. Anybody watching us tonight, anybody you watch on replay, hit the like button. 500 plus likes. I mean, Padres have won 3 in a row. They were absolutely dominant tonight. Fernando Tatis Jr. had 3 big hits. He had a home run as well. Jake Cronenworth had a home run. Manny Machado had a home run. Dylan Cease looked back to Cy Young form. And they traded for all-star second baseman Luis Arraez, batting champ, and pretty much just a pure hitter, one of the purest hitters you'll ever see in baseball. 500 likes minimum tonight. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and it's gonna be a fun one, guys.
Okay, so we're going to get to every single super chat. There's going to be a million people in here. If you support the channel, if you want to make sure we see your comment, if you have a question, if you have something you want us to get to, hit the $ below the chat box. We'll get to every single super chat. Become a member tonight. I'm going to ask Jim to check one more time. Can he give out some memberships tonight? It's now May. Jim's going to see if we can give out potentially some memberships tonight. You get custom emojis and badges, and Arraez emoji is coming. So become a member. You'll get that custom Arraez emoji coming soon. The story is not the win, and the win was impressive, like you said. And Dylan Cease has been a complete story unto himself. And it's nice to see the offense do what the offense does, which is score in big innings. But Luis Arraez, like you said, I mean, it's amazing to say, and we both tweeted about it, something from Danny Vietti, that his numbers through this portion of his career are comparable to Tony Gwynn's. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's not to say he will finish off his career like Tony Gwynn did, but you could argue that in today's game, with the specialty and with the velocity, that it's as challenging as ever. And with and with some of the extreme shifts we've seen in baseball, I know they've taken some of those away. I mean, this guy is a pure left-handed hitter that I think, Jim, we could talk about this. I think he slots in at DH. I think in reading everything I've read tonight and going to MLB trade rumors, he's a below average defender. I think he'll absolutely play in the field. I don't think he needs to play every day in the field. And here's the other thing. I have to move Jurickson Profar down for Luis Arraez. He's just a leadoff hitter. That's who he is. He's led off every single game. And Profar's had a very nice season and a very nice handful of games here leading off. But I'm leading off Arraez. I'm DHing him at least half the time. I'll slot him throughout the infield. But this guy's as good of a hitter as there is in the game. He doesn't strike out, and he walks. And the Padres now have him potentially through 2025, if not beyond.
So real quick, he's hitting 299 this year. Leads the league in at-bats. He's got a 347 on base. Nothing to write home about for a slug. His OPS is 719. He's not a guy that's going to hit you many home runs. I think the highest he's ever had was 10. That was last year. Yep. All right. But he is a hit. He's a hitting machine. He's a lifetime 324 hitter. Look, it's funny because remember a couple months ago before the season started, we had a stream about Luis Arraez.
And I think we had a couple.
And it was a complete, like, off of just kind of a hunch and nothing really like that was concrete. And I said it then, and I'll say it now because the sentiment's still true. He is a perfect fit for this team. He is a perfect fit for Petco Park. He is not a power guy at all. He is an on-base average guy. Not like he's average. Like, I mean, like his batting average. He hits for average. It's exactly what they needed. Xander Bogaerts is not a prototypical leadoff hitter. Jurickson Profar is not a prototypical leadoff hitter, even though he has been amazing for them this season. The well's going to run dry at some point with Jurickson Profar. He's going to regress. It's going to happen. He's not going to hit 342 for the entire year. Luis Arraez can hit 320 for you for the entire year. And to put him in a leadoff spot now, you're right. You're moving Jurickson Profar down. You're obviously also moving Xander Bogaerts down as well. You are lengthening this lineup for sure. And for a lineup that has already been really good offensively for their standards, you're only adding to it. This is not about where's he going to play, because frankly, it doesn't matter where he plays. This is 100% about his bat. 100% about his bat. They'll put him probably at DH, I would say right now. But, there will be days where Bogey gets a day off. You put, what's a Luis Arraez, like, what's his nickname going to be? Louis. They'll probably put Louis at second. And, Manny, he'll be off and on in the field. And when he is not DHing, I would suspect you're going to see a Luis Arraez DH. But when Manny is DHing, that's going to be interesting to see how they figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things to your point. I mean, the Padres are 9th in baseball in OPS, which by Padres standards is a really good. This is beyond
compared to last year. Yeah,
this is 35 games in, and it has a chance to go up with Arraez. What's interesting to me is I think, first of all, the Marlins making this trade now and not waiting until closer to the deadline to quote unquote maximize return means they thought they could maximize return by giving the Padres potentially 2 years of him. With all that being said, I think Arraez is a really nice piece, and I think he's hit with multiple teams, and I do think he's going to hit with San Diego. But to your point, I think the return tells you a little bit about what a guy that hits for a high average is worth in today's baseball, which is a good amount, but not everything. Like, this isn't some out-of-the-world return. You gave up a first-rounder within the last year, and Dylan Head was a nice piece. Jacob Marcy absolutely has upside. Nathan Martorella is a good young prospect. Wusako, I mean, we hardly even knew Wusako.
Wusako?
I don't think this is an overly crazy return. I think it's a fine return for Miami, but I'm not really losing sleep here. Not to say that Dylan Head isn't capable, or Jacob Marcy, or any of these guys. They are, and they could have good careers. There's no question about it. But you're really thinking about 26, 27, with something 25, 26, 27 with some of these players. And the Padres, this deal screams what Ken Rosenthal wrote today. We have to. There are no excuses. And this is a credit to Preller. Preller is a rock star in terms of keeping the Padres relevant and for going after star after star after star. But this is it. And he recognizes it. I give him credit for doing something like this. I mean, Cease and Arraez have completely changed everything in terms of expectations for this team. And they absolutely have to get to the postseason. And I credit Preller because Cease and Arraez have given the Padres a clear path to the postseason that didn't exist without those trades.
So the trade was Luis Arraez for Dylan Head, Jacob Marcy, Wusako, and Nathan Martorella. Martella,
whatever.
Morello.
Hardly knew you.
Right. I mean, whatever. But the Jacob Marcy included into it, I think, has to do with how well Jackson Merrill has been playing in center field. Because when a young prospect plays well, it gives you, that comfort of saying, all right, well, I can trade this guy because the prospect who plays the same position is at the big league level performing. And we've seen what Jackson Merrill's done so far this season. He's the greatest hitter on the road. He can't hit worth a lick at home, but so far this is a major upgrade over Trent Grisham from last year. And it looks like so far everything's so good with him. The Preller thing, I tweeted that out, and if you don't think that this move is clearly correlated with his job being on the line, I don't know what to tell you. The Dylan Cease trade and the Luis Arraez trade at the times that they were made, to me, screams you gotta win. And if you don't win, you're gone. And this all came after Eric Kasenda's, kind of, what was it? There wasn't a good
accountable.
Oh yeah, holding him accountable at spring training, and with Eric Grupner in charge, and Eric Grupner, seemingly above AJ Preller, they have to win. They have to win. There's no question about it. Because if they don't win and they don't make the postseason this year, Preller's gone. Okay. The entire front office, I'm not saying Eric Grupner, but you get my point. Like all the scouts, they're all gone. Assistant GM, they're all gone. So they need to make the postseason. And credit to whoever gave the okay for this, because, I look at this as like, okay, Luis Arraez, they got a proven major league hitter that hopefully when they come to San Diego doesn't turn into like Adam Frazier 2.0, but
he won't.
Comes here, hits for average, produces, stretches the lineup out, gives them a better chance to win. And now the expectation is solely, like you said, postseason or bust. No question about it.
And here's the other thing, and I agree with what you said, and maybe they do recognize it. I credit both Katsenda for a willingness to trust AJ Preller in what we'll see whether or not it becomes a lame duck or walkie or not, to give up some of the future for today. And I don't see this move as a desperation move to make it on May 3rd and to get the entirety of this season for, to be fair, a good group of prospects, but not premier prospects in your organization, and guys that arguably are blocked to some extent like Marcy, or are super young like Dylan Head, who was drafted a year ago. So I don't see this as a desperate move that involved a top 3 prospect to go get a guy that hits for average, which truly isn't the number 1 premium in baseball today, but is absolutely going to lengthen this lineup. Let's get to some of these supers because things are rolling in, and then let's react. Thank you guys. Subscribe. Year-round content for Padres fans. We have to get to 6,100 subscribers tonight or the channel shuts down. YouTube has rules.
Simple.
Rules are rules.
Yeah.
So please subscribe. Hit the like button for us. We're trying to get to 500 likes. Follow us at X, at Jon Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We'll get to every single super chat. Click the $ below the chat box. You want custom emojis, including an Arraez emoji, coming soon. Become a member by clicking join down below. Patriot, thank you for the generous super and getting us started. And he just says, appreciate you guys. Watch every morning on replay at work from Iowa. Keep up the good work. That is very cool. Thanks, Patriot, for hanging out. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for letting us know. Ishmael, thank you, man. He says, hey, guys, is this a winner for Preller, or is he still on the line if there's no postseason? Like we just said, Jim, they have to make the postseason, or this thing is going to look so wonky. Trading away prospects, acquiring stars. This guy makes good money, Jim. They're over the CBT. Mm-hmm. Is Kim, exchangeable
was it $10
at
million?
The deadline, regardless of how good this team is? Because they're now $4 million over the CBT.
Right. This is a $10 million. I mean, this is a move that I didn't expect them to make right now.
Neither did I.
You didn't sign Tommy Pham because of money, but you're now like saying, screw it, let's just go over the CBT with Arraez. Mm-hmm. Thanks for the super chat, Ishmael. But it's as black and white for me as it's ever been. And I said it today on the show. I've said it hundreds of times. Like, there's no scenario, and I'm sorry, there's no scenario that this team misses the postseason and AJ Preller returns next year. Like, none. Okay. If they make the postseason and say they lose the first 2 games in the wild card, he's probably coming back. But if they miss out by just a game, say it goes down to the final day of the season and they miss out by a game, he's gone. It's it. It's done. And I don't think you're right. This isn't a desperation move because he didn't give up like Salas and, Snelling and those guys to get like a rental, right? Well, I guess Luis Arraez is kind of he's a rental, right?
No, he's not a rental because he's signed through 2025.
Okay, so you have him for another year.
But 130 games.
Right. This is not a desperation move, but it is a move that just furthers my belief in, like, he knows it, we know it, they know it. You don't make the postseason, you're gone. So he's going to do everything in his power to give him the best chance and this team the best chance to make the postseason. He's not going to sit around and wait to see if this team is good or not around the trade deadline. He's not going to sit around and wait for anything. He's going to make these moves because he can't really afford to wait. He can't. I mean, this team is still 1 game under 500. They're playing much better baseball.
Yeah.
Crazy how that works. But there is no way that he can wait to see if this team is going to be good or not. He can't. He has to do it now. and put all the chips in now. So I credit him for that. I credit him, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. You know, it's as black and white for me as it's ever been. And you better make the postseason or you're gone. That's it.
Honestly, and Evan, thank you for what I believe is a super sticker or your support of the channel. So thank you very much. We do appreciate that. Honestly, dude, I've gone this move, Jim, and maybe this is too reactionary, but you know me, I'm pretty measured. This takes me from cautiously optimistic about the season to optimistic about the season. I'm not jumping through hoops and saying they're going to win a World Series or a division or win 95 games, but I've gone from cautiously optimistic to optimistic. Now, we've been optimistic about things before that haven't turned out well, but I don't see how you can be a Padres fan. And that goes to this point from the beef. Thank you for the membership in the super. He says, AJ gets shit, but does moves like this. Let's go. Listen, it's been a love-hate relationship with AJ Preller, but I'm saying if you're a Padres fan, how could you, if you're a fan by definition, you're kind of optimistic, how could you not be optimistic off this? To your point, they're 17 and 18, but that's fine in this era where you have the 3 wild cards and there's so much still in front of you. I just feel like you have a roster now, Jim, that is legitimate. Nobody can predict injuries. A Musgrove Darvish situation can always be impactful. Obviously, you need Dylan Cease. And I mean, so it all starts and ends there, maybe. But injuries impact all teams. So knowing that that's always a possibility, just when I look at the roster, I don't know how you can't be optimistic with this roster.
I'm optimistic. I was optimistic even without
not
Luis
you, but I'm saying I don't know how you.
Oh,
the general person, not you. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying I don't know how a Padre fan couldn't be optimistic.
I mean, frankly, even before the Dylan Cease trade, Dylan Cease trade, the Luis Arraez trade today on the radio, I don't think we were doom and gloom. We were just, it's their margin for error just got bigger. And that's something that they didn't have before the trade today, and they didn't have before the Dylan Cease trade. Yeah, I give Preller credit. That doesn't mean I think he should be the general manager for this team for the next 10 years.
No,
I give him credit for this. And I do feel better about this team than I did like 6 hours ago. How could you not? You got a guy that's a 300 career hitter. Well, actually 324 career hitter. And he's not a power guy, but he's kind of exactly what they need. A prototypical leadoff guy that they didn't really truly have, and lengthens your lineup to a lineup that's been pretty damn good for their standards. So I like the trade. There's nothing about it that screams, oh no, as of right now. That could change for sure. Like, Jacob Marcy could turn into the next Mike Trout. I don't know. But as of right now, what we always say here is, try to win right now. And I do give him credit for that. I don't care about 4 years down the road. I care about now. I care about this season. And Luis Arraez is going to give them a better chance to win this season than without Luis Arraez.
100%. All right, let's get back to these supers here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Luis Arraez is a Padre plus. The Padres win tonight behind Dylan Cease and the offense. Big in Arizona game, one of a 3-game series game, one of a 6-game roadie. 619 Cam, appreciate you, man. The membership and the super. He says, nice, clean win. Great game for Cease and our big boys. Getting Arraez is sweet. And when we bring Solano up, and I still feel like that is likely occurring, who goes down? By the way, Bogey should be outfielder, I'm assuming.
No,
that's not going to happen.
You already have so many. I mean, you have like 12 second basemen on this team. Right. They're all playing. Everybody's playing out of position, which is hilarious. But yeah, it was a great win tonight. I mean, today, imagine where everybody was just like
3 days ago.
3 days ago. It was insane. I mean, after that first inning on Tuesday night, it was like, this is it. We're done.
And now on Friday, the first inning. Oh yeah, they didn't score with the bases loaded, nobody out.
Yeah. And now Friday, you're like,
best team ever.
I mean, parade route? No, I'm not too far. But they played a great, clean game tonight. There was no stress. Dylan Cease was in complete control. I mean, when he is on, he is lights out. He is really, really fun to watch. Fernando swung the bat really well tonight. Manny had a laser home run. The back-to-back homers between Cronenworth and Toddy. You know, even Bogey got an extra base hit.
That doesn't
Tyler
count.
Wade. Tyler Wade looked like Manny Machado over at third base. It's crazy. I mean, Tyler Wade's a baseball player, and he ain't going anywhere.
Of course, he's a baseball player. As Schulte
Of course,
says.
he's a baseball player. It is interesting to see who they send down. Grant Pauly is obviously going to be the first one sent down. If Donovan Solano comes up, I don't know who else.
Well, right. Pauly is going to be your move for Arraez.
Correct.
I saw speculation on after. I mean, of course, is Okar staying up as a backup outfielder? Of course.
Yes.
I mean, Tyler Wade's been versatile and played a lot for this team. He's not going anywhere.
I think Schulte loves Tyler Wade, kind of.
So then you have a backup catcher. He's not going anywhere. And then the odd man out becomes Eggy Rosario, potentially. But here's the thing with Solano is he's spent a lot of time in the big leagues and has produced. I don't think they signed him to sit him in AAA. So I think he's coming. I don't know when, but I think it's sooner rather than later on Donovan Solano. Run it back. Thank you, man. He says, let's not forget about adding Solano to the lineup. That's the thing. I mean, he's going to play a role. I don't really see a realistic scenario where he's not. I think that's why he's here. Maybe he's got an opt-out if he doesn't get up by a certain date, to be honest with you, because this guy produced last year in the big leagues. We went over the numbers the last couple of nights. I mean, whatever the numbers were last year in the big leagues, he was beyond productive last year in the big leagues.
He was. Let me pull it up.
Was it close to, what was it? Maybe a 780 OPS in my mind? 790? It was solid.
My computer would go because it's stupid fucking. All right. Last year in Minnesota, in 400 plate appearances, he had a 760 OPS and he hit 282.
760. It's good.
Yeah. I mean, his last 5 years, John, since 2019. All right. An 815 OPS, hit 330 in 81 games. In 2020, in the short year, 54 games, he had an 828 OPS with a 326 batting average. 2021, he hit 280 with a 748 OPS in 101 games. 2022, 284 with a 724 OPS in 80 games. And then last year, 134 games, 282, 760 OPS. You're telling me that you don't want that in this lineup right now? There's more room for that guy?
I agree. Now he's 36 and he's gotten in here late and it's May and maybe he needs a little bit more time, but I'm with you. I think he'll play a role and probably a sizable one. Ideally, he gives you that high 700 OPS and he gets a lot of at-bats probably.
And frankly, Luis Arraez is like Donovan Solano on steroids. Like, he is such a good hitter. Such a good hitter.
They're both hitters for average.
Right, but Arraez is better. Like, Donovan Solano is pretty damn consistent. I mean, if you can accumulate a 280 career batting average, like, you're doing something right.
Really good.
But Arraez is a 324 career hitter, and he's a leadoff guy. To me, it was just such a no-brainer move. It feels like it fits like a glove, right? I don't know why it wouldn't, but it just feels like it fits perfectly. And we could be proven wrong. He could suck, but I think at just the first glance on paper, it fits perfectly, right?
There's no reason he should suck because of his ability to put bat on ball, because of his eye, because of his low strikeout rate. There's, again, that batting average on balls in play, can that vary? Absolutely, but it hasn't really for him throughout the course of his career. So entering this year, I mean, here it is from Danny Vietti. Both Arraez and Gwynn, through their first 5 years, hit 326. They both slugged 427. I mean, this is 1 in a million stuff. They both had the same batting average and slug through 5 seasons. And then Arraez, his on base plus slugging through 5 years was 806, and Tony Gwynn's was 804 through 5 seasons. So this guy is, I mean, it's not us saying it. The stats bear it out. This is as pure gets. There aren't hitters like this anymore in baseball that are able to get on base like this with the bat. There's guys that can walk their way and power their way, and the game has changed since Tony Gwynn was playing in a Padres uniform. But I mean, uncanny in terms of production at this point in a career. He's 27, guys. He's 27 years old.
Yeah.
You know, Dylan Cease, what is he, 28? I mean, these acquisitions you've made aren't reaching for players based on past performances. These guys are in their true prime. Evan, thank you, man. Okay, if you're here, subscribe. All right, you're on content. Hit that like button for us. We're trying to get to 500. I want to tell you about a win I had at Underdog Fantasy in a moment as well. Big win tonight.
John's paying for my wedding after tonight.
No, but I'm going to buy like a Cybertruck just to piss you off.
2 Cybertrucks.
I'm going to need to. But Evan, thank you, man, for the super chat. Again, click the $sign below the chat box. We'll get to every super tonight. Thank you for the memberships as well. He says last 3 starts. I'm assuming Cease here.
No. This is for
the
Cease, Musgrove, and Darvish.
Yeah, so last 3 games. I was going to say Cease allowed 5 runs his last outing. 18 innings, 20 strikeouts, 3 earnings, no walks. Wow.
6 runs scored also, 6 runs scored, and 7 runs scored. They're unbeatable. They're the best team in baseball if they put up 6 runs a game and they get pitching performances like that.
They had another 4-run inning, Jim.
Was that 20 now?
At least they're 14th. At least they're 14th of the season. They had either 1 or 2 at this point a year ago. James, thank you. He says, can we send X to the minors like Astros did with Abreu? No chance in hell.
0 chance.
He would have to accept an assignment, and you have a better chance of me playing in the major leagues than Xander Bogaerts being sent down this year. Okay?
Yes.
That's how I feel about it, but thank you again.
Yeah.
James, Richard, appreciate you. He says,
Thanks,
I'm still
Richard.
busy with my game, but he's a Dodger fan, obviously. It's amazing what a motivated AJ can do. It was an intelligent trade, address lineup needs. I hit the like button. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Hit the like button.
Yeah, he's always, I don't think it's about motivation for AJ. It's just about making the right deal that leads to team wins. That's the issue. Like star power, this guy's the greatest fantasy GM ever. He'd be amazing at fantasy baseball. I hope he cleans up if he's playing fantasy baseball on the side. He'd be like brilliant.
Yeah.
But the whole cohesion, the whole roster thing, I mean, it's left something to be desired, truthfully.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that might not be even talked about right now, and you mentioned it briefly, is like they just went over the luxury tax.
Yes.
Correct?
But it only counts where it is when the year ends.
Okay.
Not where it starts or any deadline. If they move Kim, I mean, hear me out on that for 1 second. Kim's a free agent. Kim hasn't produced. There's a lot of time left.
If they're winning, they're not moving anybody.
I think if you're winning, you probably live with the CBT number.
Yeah.
Maybe, although there's all kinds of penalties. It would be 3rd straight year. There are draft penalties. There's financial penalties. They have no TV deal. I mean, we can say that, me and you sitting here on the wrap-up show. But if they got to get it to a number,
Isn't that a big story, though?
Them going over?
They just went over tonight with this Luis Arraez deal. If I'm not mistaken,
they went over by $4 million.
So that's huge, guys. That's massive.
It's only huge if they end the season over.
I think there's a good chance if this team is winning, John. You're telling me, say they're like firmly in the wild card race. Say they're the 2nd wild card at the deadline. All right,
they absolutely could be.
Let's just throw that out there because they absolutely could be. If they get hot, I don't think anybody in front of them is like a team that can rip off 20 in a row. Phillies are obviously really good, but like, all right. So say they are a game.
So give me a record.
All right, they're a game up for the 2nd seed for the wild card. I don't know. I said 52 and 50 the other day. That's equal to.
So give them another winner too. Give them 53 and 49, 54 and 48,
55 and 47.
Ooh, that's a pretty good record. You made that change based on the Luis Arraez trade?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm just 55 and 47. They are up by 3 games for the second
on the last wild card.
On the last wild card. You're telling me that? Oh yeah, it's trade Hassan Kim so we get under the CBT. No,
well, I need to know I need to know what Kim's doing. If Kim's hitting 217 and it's going to be, you're going to just lose him into the ether at the end of the season, and he's not producing.
Okay, let's say he's producing. Say he's hitting.
But the problem is, what are we even talking about? Kim's not going to get you under at the deadline because he makes $8 million a year.
True. So what are you going to do?
1/3 of a season. Well, you can do a series of things. I don't know where all their money is tied up. I'm sure they have some dead money in there that they could try to get out from underneath. I don't know what it would be.
Well, it's not our problem to worry about. It's their problem. But also, that's something to keep in mind is that with this move, if they keep everybody on this team and they don't add anybody at the deadline, which it's mean, they might still, but like, you know, if they don't subtract any substantial money to get back under the CBT, tonight's move will put them over the luxury, and they will be a repeat offender for the 3rd straight year, which will
has
be
extra
some
penalty.
heavy penalties.
There's tax dollar penalties. There's draft pick penalties. There's compensation penalties. There might be international. I don't know what all the penalties are. Somebody can Google it, but it is significant. All right, we're getting back to the chat in a moment. I wanted to tell you about my win, Jim. Okay, because I was texting Jim. Jim knows about it. Here's my win tonight on Underdog. Scan the QR code on the screen. Win with us by using promo code PODSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. This I did without even telling you. Okay. You know me, I'm not really an NBA guy. I still felt good about Donovan Mitchell higher than 5.5 points tonight in the first quarter, and he hit it with 10. Now, Manny, remember we talked to the Ace man. You're right, Ace. And remember Machado nearly homered in the last game. He was robbed. And he's like, you know, maybe he's going to heat up this weekend. He's kind of swinging it better. I said, okay, I'll take a flyer on it. And he homered. And then Cease just strikes everyone out because his stuff is filthy. Now, he barely got over the threshold. He needed 6.5. He struck out 7 here tonight for the Padres. This paid 198. But here's the thing, Jim. I was soft and flexed it, which means I could have gotten 2 out of 3 right and still won some money, but I got 3 out of 3 right. If I didn't flex this and just would have gone 3 out of 3 and rolled the dice, this would have paid $396 tonight.
Yeah, you're
198.
Yeah, you're soft. You should have done it. Real quick. Okay. Because the chat was blown up during that conversation. They traded Woo Suck Go, John. That's $4.5 million right there.
No, it's not. That's what he makes over 2 years. This puts him $4 million over.
Like 100%?
With the go, with everything. They crunched the numbers.
Where'd you see that? Or did you just know?
On the internet.
Okay. Second, someone said that they're just glad that they can stop listening to us beg for players like Pham and Belt. Never once did we beg for Belt. And 2, yes, we wanted Tommy Pham, but we didn't beg for Tommy Pham. Well, maybe a little bit. Anyway, so
I will here. Hold on. Here it is from ML. Hear me out.
Okay.
The Padres absorb. I'm looking at MLB.
Does Dennis have it? Somebody have it? Because everyone in the chat
Yes,
like, you guys are idiots. You're fucking morons.
Who's saying we're saying we don't have the payroll numbers right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, hey, if you have a payroll channel on Padres payroll, then start your live show and I'll watch. But I'm reading this right now. And hold on. Here we go. Maybe they're 4.5 below the number. And I said 4.5 over. Okay. Their competitive balance tax number is far higher, reflecting their slate of backloaded contracts. Calculates their CBT in the 232 range. They're around 4.5 million below this year's 237 base threshold, a marker they were reluctant to cross last winter. Okay. I could have been wrong. I think I was. But were they you're telling me taking on 10? They had that much wiggle room, even with getting rid of 2 from Musako. They could take on 8 right now and still be under with Cease.
All right.
I thought they were closer than they. I might be dead wrong on them being over them.
You're supposed to be the math guy.
I know I'm the math guy. Anyway, use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Play along with us. Win like I'm winning. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description down below. Listen, we're not AJ Preller. If you want, whatever.
We're not sitting here talking about CBT, even though you convinced me. I thought they were going to be over.
I thought they were over. And that I really thought I saw that multiple times tonight, and then it was confirmed, but it looks like I'm dead wrong. So my bad.
Well, then awesome. Great. That's even better. I mean, if that's the case, it's great. Perfect. But again, it shouldn't be about, fans shouldn't be sitting down talking about money all the time, like crunching the numbers. That's their job to do. Fans are just, all they care about is who's on the team, who's the players on the team. Yes, Calvin, Luis Arraez jersey in the cart.
There we go.
Thank you, Tyler, for the super chat.
Yeah, Tyler, appreciate it. So he says, hard to not feel pretty good right now, LOL. That's kind of my general point. If anyone, and I saw some people reacting like, oh, this is this isn't significant. He has no impact. The team sucks. Miami sucks. He's had a down year. I mean, first of all, no, it's been 33 games, so there's no such thing as a down year.
He's in 300.
Right, and he's hit. Now, he hasn't hit at the same clip, and you'd like him to hit at the same clip, truthfully. So we'll see if he does or not. But I'd be very surprised if this guy hits under like 295, because you look at his career numbers and he's a 320 something hitter. He kills right-handed pitching, by the way, something like 340 career. 340 career against right-handed pitching. So I have no concerns about this guy hitting. I just don't. We could be proven wrong, but there's no reason to think he's not going to hit. Again, like everyone thinks they know baseball, but everyone would have also told you, Padres lover 619, you would have said Jerks and Profar as a one-year deal was a bad deal, or that he's not going to produce. Like, it's all flexible. And if you think Luis Arraez, and I could look up his career, how many times he's led off, isn't going to lead off. I'm not saying every single day, but if you don't think he's going to be a leadoff hitter for a sizable part of his time in San Diego, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Jerks and Profar has been a leadoff hitter for 4 games.
I hope he is a leadoff hitter, because it would be kind of weird for a guy that's led off as many times as he has to be like hitting in like this, like the 5 hole.
He's not getting in the 5 hole. If anything, he would hit second, but I think he's going to bat leadoff. And then Padres lover 619, come back in the chat and please subscribe. Patriot, thank you. He says, when do you think Louis will be in the lineup, and do you think he will produce right away and keep his average going? I have no clue. I mean, I'm assuming he has to pass a physical. There's
Sunday.
You think Sunday?
My guess would be Sunday.
Yeah, I'd say sooner rather than later. I guess best case maybe tomorrow, but if it takes another day or 2, there's a lot of games left.
Now, I will say, let me just check here real quick. A lot of stuff happening tonight. My head's literally, I have like a headache. The trade is not quote unquote official yet, so whenever it becomes I mean, he's got to get to Arizona. I don't know where he was tonight. Was he in Oakland?
I have no idea.
I could be completely wrong on that one. He's got to get in. He'll take a physical. All the Padres guys got to go in, take physicals. Where were they? So
I mean, even the physical, though. I mean, even if there was a physical issue on a prospect, then they would just change the prospect. I mean, and Arraez is going to pass his physical. He's played 33 games this year, so hopefully this is as good as done. I mean, did they talk about it on TV? I know they did on radio, but I didn't hear them mention it one time.
Well, why they don't mention it is because, straight up, this team is very sensitive with official and rumors and not.
But is it even the team? If you go to MLB.com, it didn't even have it until like 30 minutes ago. It's like baseball's so weird with that stuff.
No, John, I'm telling you, man. Jesse mentioned it the start of the broadcast tonight, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And they didn't talk about it one time since. And I don't even think Don and Mud mentioned it one time.
I don't think they did either.
So it's not their fault. Ridiculous. It's a team thing. Okay. If you're kind of wondering maybe why they didn't mention it, don't blame the guys on the TV. All right. It's a team thing.
Yeah, but there's like 10,000 people talking about it on social media. Isn't there an obligation?
John, I've been in the weeds, dude. They are so sensitive about all of that. Doesn't make sense. All of that stuff. And anytime anything isn't tweeted out or put out there as reported trade, you're going to hear about it. That's just how it is.
Right.
And so it has to be 100% official before anybody starts talking about it.
Soft.
And if they were talking about it, then that's great. Good on them. I'm glad they did, because it's something that actually happened. It's going to happen, and no one should shy away from it.
Yeah, again, I watched most of it, but I got my son and blah, 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 and dinner, but I don't recall them really. I mean, maybe it was referenced, but it certainly wasn't a large talking point, that's for sure. Tyler, thank you. He says, this team always finds a way to reel you back in. Yeah, by and large, in the Preller era, they have been able to do that, including here tonight.
On Preller, man.
What's that?
That's why I'm always so torn on Preller. On one hand,
I mean, from our perspective, where we talk to Padres fans every single day. I hope AJ Preller's the GM for forever, truthfully, because there's no more entertaining GM in baseball, and that includes like Brian Cashman.
Like, do I ever think they'll win with AJ Preller? No, I don't think they'll win a World Series with AJ Preller. But his content that he brings to the table
is amazing.
Is gold.
It's amazing. Carson, thank you. Says, how would you rate out of 10 compared to Cease? I think the Cease trade's way more significant, personally.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, if you're comparing it to Cease, I think it's not the Cease trade. But if you're saying 1 out of 10, where do I rank? Like, this is huge. This is nobody expected this May 3rd. Like, this to me is a high number. Gives you a chance to win additional games. I don't know what's his career WAR. I think it's 15 WAR players, about a 3 WAR player per year. This gives you a chance to win a couple additional games, I would think. So, I mean, I'm high on this trade. Not a 10 maybe, but it's a blockbuster trade. There's not a lot of trades in baseball history of a player of Luis Arraez's caliber this early in the season.
Yeah, I think Dylan Cease was the more impactful trade. How would I rate this trade out of 10? Compared to, I mean, Cease to me was a 10 out of 10 trade.
Yep.
This one, I'm not gonna say 10
9?
out of 10, but like it's 8, 9, yeah.
Yeah.
This Padres 619 lover. Like, if you love Jurickson Profar that much, then great. If he's not in the leadoff spot tomorrow, then like stop talking about it.
Well, by the way, he may be in the leadoff spot tomorrow because Luis Arraez might not be here.
And guess what? If Jurickson Profar is in the leadoff spot and then they move Arraez to second, which I don't know why they would put Arraez there and then move Tatis down and everybody down. Like, you're moving Manny to the 5 slot if you're moving everyone down.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Like, tell me that Padres 619 lover. You put Jurickson Profar at the leadoff spot because you think he's the greatest leadoff hitter since Ricky Henderson. You put Arraez second, and then you got to put Tatis third, Manny or Cronenworth fourth, and then Manny fifth and Bogey sixth.
Listen, if they do it, they do it. If Profar is that scorching hot that he has to stay where he is, I don't think it'll last all year. And Luis Arraez will be your leadoff hitter. Let me ask you this: the day Luis Arraez arrives here, Padres lover 619, who bats leadoff more often from there until the end of the season, Arraez or Profar? And I'll be happy to. I'll bet you lunch.
Yeah,
on that one.
Profar went 0 for tonight. He has said that he does not care where he hits. He hits anywhere. And that is a perfect trait. He was hitting like this just on a couple of days ago before he got moved to the leadoff spot. Now, moving to the leadoff spot, you think he had like what? He went 6 for his next like 8 in the leadoff spot.
He was 10 for 18, I think.
But guess where he was? Guess what he was doing when he was hitting in the 5th hole or the 5 spot or the 6 spot or whatever. He was hitting over. He was doing the same thing. He was hitting over 300.
Yep.
So to me, my lineup going forward: Arraez 1, Toddy 2, Cronenworth 3, Manny 4. I think they're going to put Bogey 5. Not what I would do, but I think they're going to put Bogey 5. Profar 6th. Campy 7th. Kim 8th. Merrill 9th.
I like that. I'm just looking at, by the way, Arraez's career. Arraez's career has 297 games leading off. He has no other spot in an order where he's played more than 58 times. He's a career 326 hitter when batting leadoff in a lineup, not leading off an inning, but batting leadoff in a lineup. He's a career 326 hitter with about an 800 OPS. I just plug him in there and let him go because that's who he is. And I don't see why it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, we can have a additional conversation about it, and we'll see what they do. But I just think Arraez will play more. I think he'll bat leadoff more than Profar from here on out, and I'd be surprised if that's incorrect.
If he's not the leadoff hitter, then the lineup feels very wonky to put him like in the 5 hole. You're not changing your 2-3-4. You're not changing your 2-3-4. You're not doing that. You're keeping Toddy, Crony, Manny. That's the order. All right. So where are you going to do around that? And Arraez is your leadoff hitter, and Profar can be their 5th or 6th hitter.
Yeah, I agree. Zach says, you think we'll eventually need one more pitcher? I think it's absolutely a possibility. that they may need one more pitcher. That's absolutely a possibility. Hopefully not until closer to the deadline to kind of bolster a little bit, potentially.
Yeah, look, no team is ever perfect. Like this team is not even close to perfect. But there's always going to be needs. There's always going to be things that, the team would want. And what have we seen when Preller has a team that he feels like can make a run? He always makes trades. He always buys, and he always does some crazy shit. Now, this might be like an accelerated crazy shit move, right? But you're telling me that the trigger happy AJ Preller at the trade deadline this year, if his team is in it, is just not going to make a move? Like, that's impossible to say, John.
Yeah. I mean, last year he was that guy because they weren't good.
But he still made moves.
I know. They were all blah.
He still bought. I know they were blah, but he still bought.
They bought like 50-year-old starting pitchers.
Rich Hill and
you're right.
And G-Man Choi.
All right, we're going to get back to the chat in a moment. Subscribe. We need to get 500 likes on this video tonight, so please smash the like button. We'll get to every single super chat. We apologize. We're a few minutes behind on super. Stay where you are. We'll get to all of them. Thank you for the memberships, and thank you to our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz. We can't do this without Mark Nimitz and his support. He's been with us since day one. We've been doing this channel on YouTube for the better part of the last 3 years. We've been doing the wrap-up show for the better part of the last 5 years. Mark is an amazing insurance agent. You can take that from me. If you need a homeowner's life insurance or earthquake insurance policy, like I have all 3 of those. Let Mark help you. He does more than that, by the way. You switch your insurance, you can save $750 or more with Mark Nimitz, who is a native San Diegan and a lifelong Padres fan and has been preaching about Luis Arraez like Will Holder has been preaching about Luis Arraez. I mean, he's been hoping and praying for this moment.
This trade's for you, Will.
6 months. This is for Mark. This is for Will. This is for Padres fans. Click the link in the description down below to get to Mark's website. You can get free quotes online or free quotes by calling Mark Nimitz. But he's an amazing insurance agent. You can take it from me. I had to file a claim a couple of years ago. He saved us so much money, so much time. I still thank him for that. He's a terrific insurance agent. A lot of you have gone with him already. And again, if you support the channel, support Mark Nimitz by clicking that link in the description down below.
Yep. All of his information is in the ticker there. His email address is the best way to reach him, mnimitz@farmersagent.com. When you reach out to our buddy Mark, let him know that Jon and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you. I feel like you guys need to stop with the jerks and profars on the heater, so keep him where he's at.
But that's what people said when he was batting 5th.
Right. And then he had 2 really, really good games in the leadoff spot.
What about Jackson Merrill's on a heater, don't move him, and then he doesn't hit? I mean, there's so much more that goes into it.
He's not. He might. I'll say this. Will Profar hit in the leadoff spot again this year? Probably.
Of course.
But as you said, John, who will have more at bats in the leadoff spot now moving forward? It will be Luis Arraez.
Yeah, I'm
very confident in saying that.
A couple of things. Tyler, thank you. He says this Jake resurgence should be studied. I mean, Cronenworth has been really, really valuable, and especially these last couple of days. Obviously, the Grand Slam follows it up today with the home run. I just want to see that OPS number for Cronenworth. It's up to 869. It's gone up a ton the last couple of days with the home runs, and he had 3 hits today. So 869 for Jake. That's been huge. By the way, I saw here on social this quote from Mike Schulte from Dennis Lim.
Yes.
The Padres are tired of pitchers throwing high and tight to Fernando Tatis Jr. I saw this in the 8th inning, maybe the 9th inning tonight, and he went down pretty hard. The quote, "It's not necessary. It's happened too frequently, and we're not pleased by it. I feel like there's been too many already of those," Tatis said. So Schulte with the first quote, Tatis with the second quote. Well, what are you going to do about it?
Nothing.
That's the thing. I don't really know what you can. I mean, you're going to throw high and tight at other teams' premier players. Aren't you going to ask for them to then do it to Tatis? There's no question. In watching the Padres this year, Tatis has been pitched high and tight.
Look, I think we do a really good job, me and you, not being completely overly biased. We tell it how it is. Right? We tell you what we think. Yeah, we want this team to win. Yeah, we are rooting for their success. But we tell you how it is. If we don't like something, we'll tell you. I think that is kind of eyewash to me, because if I'm a pitcher, guess what I'm doing at the next at bat? I'm throwing high and tight, because I have a job to do too. And my job is to get you out. I'm not throwing out your head. I'm just pushing you off the plate. That's how pitchers pitch. That at bat tonight, I know exactly what at bat he's talking about. Okay. I love Tatis. Tatis is, I mean, when he's on, he's the most exciting player in baseball. And he is my favorite, one of my favorite Padres, maybe my favorite Padre. But that at bat, the pitcher did exactly what he went out there to do. He threw high and tight. Did it get away from him? Probably. Thankfully, it didn't hit Tatis in the head. Thank God. But guess what he did next pitch? He threw a perfect like changeup or splitter or something down in the zone. Tatis whiffed, got a strikeout. He did his job. Like, pitchers aren't going to look at that quote and be like, guys, Schulte doesn't want us to throw high and tight to Toddy anymore, so we can't do that. No, they say, perfect. We got them right where they want them, because now they're thinking about it. And when they think about it, it maybe gives the advantage to the pitcher. So if I'm the pitcher, when I'm pitching against Tatis, fuck yeah, I'm throwing high and tight. Well, but you have to make sure you don't hit him, because if you hit him, then all bets are off.
Well, I would just say, if you don't like it, then throw high and tight to your opponent. And, like, stating it honestly makes it now more obvious when you go throw it Marte or Walker or Carroll, who's been terrible. But you know what I mean? Like, you either are going to do something about it on field or you're not. I think by complaining about it, nothing gets done. By the way, pitchers no longer hit, so there's no fear factor there. What are you going to do? Is my point. You only have one way to have any type of recourse, and it's to do the same and then see if it stops things. Carson, thank you, says, how would you rate each other out of 10? I give
like
Jim
a 2.
Maybe Jim, is it like a 3? Thank you,
Our
Carson.
wives saw something in us that we don't even know. So
they did. Run it back. Thank you. Here's his lineup. No, not
happening. No.
Solano ain't leading off for this team.
No.
But thank you. Run it
Thanks
back.
for the super, though.
Yeah, we do appreciate you. Murray, thank you. Says, I said at the beginning of the season, 87 and 75 now with the Arraez trade. I'm sure of it, or better. Okay. I mean, listen, that's not outside the realm. 87 wins. I mean, they are a game under 500, if we're going to be fair. And the schedule is not exactly easy here in the short term. But I'm not going to rule that out today. I don't think we should rule that out today. That might still be outside the realm a little bit, but hey, it's all good, man. Be a fan, I mean, they could win more than that. It's possible.
Dude, I feel a lot better today about my 86 win total than I did 6 hours ago.
Yeah, what was my total? I think 85.
I think 84, 85, yeah.
85, I think. Taco Bell call 911. Thank you for the super and the membership. He says, if Kim isn't producing at the plate at the deadline, maybe they trade him for some pitching depth, and Xander would just go back to shortstop. Now that we figured out they're under the CBT, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
I wouldn't think.
Yeah, Kim's a big part of this team. I mean, could you imagine they trade one of the, like, a clubhouse like favorite in the middle of the season?
They traded what's his name when they sucked. Who was it? The right fielder.
More of the team, but that like you said, that team sucked.
Who was that?
Franmil Reyes.
Yeah, singing in the dog. Oh, how could you trade Franmil? I'll tell you how. You're 14 games under 500. That's how. Andrew, thank you. Says 79% of the season is left, so 10.6 million is 8.4, and go is 1.8. Right. So you're taking on 6.6 million in salary.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Between go and Arraez.
Yeah.
In the remainder of the year.
I just want to look at something real quick.
What are you looking at?
Oh, nothing. Continue. Sorry.
All right. Tyler, appreciate you. He says, I love that Preller went out and got this done early too. More games to have an impact and put us over the hump. Love him or hate him. Preller is so damn exciting, man. I would agree with that. I think he's absolutely exciting. The star players he has acquired via trade or free agency is absurd. There is not a GM since 2019, Jim, that has acquired more stars via free agency or trade. Is there? I don't believe there is. I mean, maybe like a Dodgers will be there, but they're right there in star power via free agency or trade, I would say, over the last 5+ years.
Off the top of my head, I'm just looking at the deals that were made.
Machado, Soto, Bogart,
just
Snell.
We're talking about trades or everything?
All of it. Snell, Darvish, Musgrove, Arraez, Cease. I mean, that's big time star power.
Yeah, Soto.
Again, Dodgers, the Bettses and the freaking Otanis. I mean, the Dodgers are right there. You could probably say the Dodgers are higher. I'd have to see all the moves, but they're there. I mean, I think the Padres are probably top 2 in baseball in that exciting category, acquisition or signing over the last 5 seasons. I would say top 2 probably.
Yeah, he has traded for some of the best players in the game. It's crazy how very little of it's all worked out.
Well, that's true too. That's another conversation. That is true, and that's why we say sometimes it's not fantasy baseball, right? Like,
and by workout I mean
pitcher matters.
And by workout I mean like team success. I mean, you traded for a guy that won a Cy Young, multiple All-Stars. You've signed a guy who has multiple All-Stars. Like, these guys have performed individually, but team success, it's crazy. That's what I'm talking about. It's crazy how little team success they have actually really accomplished with all of these freaking trades.
Yeah, I agree with that. Quan, thanks, man. What do you think of this lineup, Jim, that he has in this super chat?
Arraez is your DH. I like it. Toddy and Wright, Crony, Manny, Profar, Xander, Merrill, Campy, Kim. Love it. I think you're going to see some variation of that, and the bottom of the lineup might be moved around a little bit. Maybe Xander's still hitting 5th and Profar's hitting 6th. Like, I would say just the way that Profar swung the bat this year, I think he's better suited in a spot where he can actually do some damage right now, and I think 5th would be the spot for him, and that's why Xander's got to step it up, man. So yeah, I think I would do this lineup right now. I like it. I maybe flip Kim and Merrill, but you have at the top of your lineup a perfect left, right, lineup. And then if Profar's in 5th, he's going to be the switch guy. He'll be left or right, depending on who's on the mound. I think that's what you're probably going to see. And anybody in the chat that thinks the Luis Arraez should not be hitting leadoff, our buddy Hot Wheels thinks that we don't know jack shit about Luis Arraez, but he's your leadoff hitter, and that's what's going to be. And sorry for everybody out there that like hates it.
By the way, this is a great question. Then I want to pull up the Hot Wheels comment. If you could extend one, and you got a 28-year-old Ha-Seong Kim in the final year of a deal, you have Arraez who's 27 with a year after this, so he signed through 2025. If you're choosing one, Arraez is not really a defensive presence, and of course Kim is like the ultimate defensive presence.
Yeah.
Arraez or Mr. Popular Ha-Seong Kim?
If we're just talking about which player I would want, I would probably choose Luis Arraez. Not probably, I think I absolutely would. But if the money is going to be a thing, then I'm taking Ha-Seong Kim because he's not going to cost nearly as much as Luis Arraez will. Luis Arraez is a $150 million player, easy. Would you agree?
No, I wouldn't. But
at least 100.
I would need to do the math. Yeah, but again, we had Dan Zaborski tell us that Ha-Seong Kim is at least a Dansby Swanson type contract. I don't know if that's accurate.
If he has the same year this year as he did last.
I know, and I don't even know if that's accurate, dude. Looking at the deals around baseball this offseason, there were not a lot of long-term deals like that.
True.
I mean, Arraez is getting $10 million in arbitration as a second-year arbitration player, which means next year he could get 15. Which means, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's not a great defender and he's a great offensive player, but for average, I mean, I'm making it completely up. 5 for 100 seems reasonable for someone of that caliber offensively. Does anyone disagree with that? I mean, 3-WAR player, what's that worth? He's a good player, but I don't know if he's a $150 million player. But I haven't done the crunch on it either. What did whomever say in the chat, you said? Hot Wheels?
I don't know. They were just like, did you know anything about Luis Arraez before you went on, or did you like have to search him out when you went on the live or some shit. I don't even know.
But yeah, it was our first time ever hearing of him. What is he? Is he a? I think he's the new manager.
This is our first time actually watching baseball, guys.
Yeah. Is he the receiver for the Chargers, right? That's why we're here.
Yeah. Boom. We just hit 500 people in this chat right now. If you are in the chat, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. We need to get to at least 500 likes tonight. So everybody watching, hit that like button. It's okay. We don't see all the likes. You know, if you want to do an anonymous like, everyone's an anonymous like, you know, if you're lurking in on us from somewhere else and you don't want to be known, like just hit the like button. It's okay. We'll take it. And everybody right now hit the like button. So got to get to 500 plus likes tonight. Padres had a great win. They just traded for one of the best hitters in baseball. So yeah.
Steve, thank you, man. He says, why move Profar out of leadoff? Guys, Profar has been hitting leadoff for 4 games.
Oh my goodness, guys. Seriously.
What Profar has done, and we'll all take it all year long. Nobody expected this, including Jurickson Profar and AJ Preller. This was not a priority for the Padres this offseason. They signed him late for $1 million. It's been amazing. I hope it continues all year long, but there's not some prerequisite now that he has to hit leadoff. He was doing the same thing batting 5th in this lineup. I don't think he has to hit leadoff. I have no problem with him hitting leadoff, but Luis Arraez has basically made a career hitting leadoff and hitting 300 plus. Where Profar has played there for the last 4 games. I don't understand really the comparison right now. You just acquired a premier hitter in baseball. You gave up a lot of, capital and assets to do it. Wouldn't you kind of make it work for Arraez as opposed to make it work for your $1 million 1-year deal?
Luis Arraez's last 15 games, he's hitting 308, John. So
that's good.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I don't know what you guys want. Jurickson Profar has been amazing for this team.
It's been great.
But guess who this
is not a knock on Jurickson Profar. What's a knock if you move him down in the lineup? That's not a problem.
I don't get it, you guys. I really don't. Okay. Watch fucking baseball. Luis Arraez is a leadoff hitter. No, it's like really annoying because people think that because Jurickson Profar has had a good season so far, keep him in the leadoff spot. Luis Arraez is a career leadoff hitter. He's a career 324 hitter. Is Jurickson Profar a career 324 hitter? Okay.
Let me answer that.
No, he's not. Profar has been great this season. Nothing against Profar. But guess what? Also, Profar said himself he does not care where he hits in the lineup. And if you watch the fucking team, you know that Jurickson Profar has produced anywhere he's hitting the lineup, not just leadoff spot. And guess what? He went over tonight. So don't come at me with this shit about Profar needs to be in leadoff spot. Anybody that thinks that Profar needs to be in leadoff spot over Luis Arraez because he's been doing well this season, you don't know fucking baseball.
I like it, man. This is the real wrap-up show.
Sorry.
This is the real wrap-up show. It gets heated, which is good. All right, keep the supers coming. HBVV, thank you. He says, keep our Korean king and Profar's bestie. #rush hour. He's not going anywhere. Now, again, I don't know if he's going somewhere at the end of the season. I can't guarantee he's going to be extended or signed as a free agent. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea if it's going to be a priority, what it's going to take to get done. But is he going somewhere this year? That seems unlikely, to Jim's earlier point, and I think you're spot on. Quan, thank you. He says, Kim at 9 sets the table for the top of the lineup.
Sure.
Okay.
Or you maybe have Jackson Merrill still hitting 9th. I don't know, but the lineup now doesn't look like it could have, where the bottom order, you could have a 7, 8, 9 of Merrill, can't be Kim. And that was like your 5, 6, 7 hitters a couple weeks ago. So your 7, 8, 9 now is much improved just by one trade.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. Steve follows up with the super thank you. He says, hit Arraez 3rd. I mean, he's hit all over the lineup in his career.
Steve.
I mean, but I was going to say, that's probably the last spot you'd put him. You're not going to put him as power producing men on base. You're not trying to actually clog the bases with him. You're trying to give him an opportunity to get on base. He's not a huge run producer, right? So, yeah, I think he bats first or second in the lineup, and I think he bats lead off. Jeffrey, thank you. He says, positive we're fighting over who's leading off. Like, that is a positive.
It really is,
It
honestly.
is.
Like,
I think that's true.
yeah, no, it's a good problem to have, but I don't think it's even a discussion once Luis Arraez gets here. I think Schulte's going to write in his lineup card, Luis Arraez leading off, followed by Toddy. I mean, you know, to move everybody down would just be kind of worthless. You want to get these guys as many bats as possible. Like, all of a sudden, you're going to make Manny your cleanup guy, and then Toddy your 3-hitter, and Cronenworth hitting. No, sorry. You're going to have Toddy hitting third, Cronenworth hitting fourth. You're going to hit Manny fifth.
Right.
Stop.
That's
It's
what
not
you're saying
happening.
earlier. Yeah, I don't see it either. Murray, thank you, man. He says, if Arraez can't hit a Petco, then no Padre ever will.
Yeah. If this guy comes here, John,
And hits 223.
and hits 255 with the Padres this year, then they are officially cursed.
Right.
Like,
Right.
he's got to hit minimum, what, 290 for them? Minimum?
Yeah. Yeah. 290.
Like, minimum for 130
Minimum.
plus games, 290, or it feels like this is fucking the rig. Something's
Come on,
rigged
man.
here.
You got to hit a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. He's got to, I mean, listen, we know this. He doesn't strike out a lot. So
No.
that is encouraging, but yeah, he's got to get on base. Absolutely. JD's third says, if we ruin Arraez, it's confirmed we're cursed. So see, people go into it with this idea that we're not, is it because of the Soto thing where you didn't get everything you'd hope to get out of him? And that's understandable. You didn't get everything you'd hope to get out of him. And that was a huge acquisition. And this is not Juan Soto, let's be clear. Or maybe you're fearful because of what happened with Adam Frazier. I mean, Manny Machado, he's had a pretty good tenure in a Padres uniform. I think most Padres fans are, pretty pleased with what he's been able to accomplish. Fernando Tatis Jr. has had some seasons. So it's not like everyone comes here to die, so to speak, offensively. Like, you can have a level of success, even if it's harder. Will, thank you, man, for the membership in the Super. He says, Jon and Jim, which pitchers do you think will be available at the trade deadline? I don't think there will be a difference maker available. I have no idea.
The one pitcher that was going to be available is already a Padre, Dylan Cease.
Right. Weren't the who else were the Padres rumored to be after in the offseason? I forget now.
Oh, Luzardo?
Right. Is he even healthy?
No, I think he's injured.
So that probably wouldn't be a good acquisition.
No.
His 5 starts at 6.58 ERA this year.
Yeah, I don't have a list of potential trade targets right now because it is May 3rd.
There should be no trades. Yeah.
I wasn't honestly not expecting them to make a loose Arraez trade on May 3rd. We talked about it today on Jon and Jim, ironically. And the one name we did mention was Luis Arraez, but I thought that was going to be all dependent on how good they were going to be at the trade deadline. Like, if you told me, the start of the season, John, at some point this year, they're going to trade for Luis Arraez. I'd be like, damn, they must be good at the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. I would not have guessed May 3rd.
Either would I. I mean, the Marlins were so bad in April. I guess it opened up this possibility.
New good GM thing for the Padres. Yeah. Good thing for the Padres.
Yeah. Steve has followed up by saying Arraez is slow.
Thanks for super, man. I mean,
is Profar exactly Ricky Henderson? How many steals does Profar have this year? Does he have a steal?
I mean, maybe.
Does Jurickson Profar have a stolen base this year? That's a serious question, and he does not have more than one.
Player ever, according to
how many? Here, let me look it up. He's got one stolen base.
Ricky Henderson 2.0.
Yeah, I'm not worried about. He may be slow, but if he gets on base at a 360 clip and hits 310, then I don't think it matters all that much,
Yeah. So the lineup discussion, whatever, because we know it's going to happen. Are we confident right now that Luis Arraez is this team's DH every day?
No, not every day. I think he'll play in the field.
It's tricky. What are they going to do when Manny has to DH?
Right, because then who's playing third, you're saying, to get Arraez out there at second?
Are you putting Kimmy there and you putting Bogey back at short?
I think you're probably, yes, I think that's exactly what you're doing. I think that's exactly what you're doing in that instance. Yes. I think Arraez can place him first, but that's not exactly ideal right now. He has played first. But Cronenworth has been productive, obviously.
See, then you have to work. Then it's like you start thinking about double play combos. I mean, Arraez and Bogey had never played together before, not to my knowledge.
Right.
So that's an interesting dynamic.
He's got to, I'd be surprised he's a true DH. Like, I mean, he's played in the field every single game this year. You're going from playing the field every single game to never playing in the field. I think he's going to play in the field at least a couple times a week. So he's not a good defensive player. We've talked about it. He's at best an average defensive player right now. But that's not a reason not to play him in the field, is it? To never play him in the field because he's an average defensive player or below average defensive player. I don't think that alone is a reason not to play him in the field.
Yeah, and it just goes back to a classic Preller deal where it's like, I don't care. I don't know where he's going to play, but I just want him on this team, right?
Yeah, but when you're getting a guy that's literally won a couple of batting titles, I think that's warranted.
No, and I agree. The where he plays is obviously a conversation that they're going to and will and probably already have had, starting with, after this game tonight. But that's kind of secondary to just his bat in general. I mean, it's not the traditional National League anymore. If it was the traditional National League, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? But you don't have that problem anymore. All you care about is getting that bat in the lineup. So when Manny's not out there at third, I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be interesting to watch. When Manny's at third, this team is at their best. And if you put him at DH, I think that's probably what they're going to do. It's going to be interesting to watch, though, to see that, because that is a legit question.
Can I give you a crazy note on Arraez?
Give it to me.
I mean, he's got some Tony Gwynn craziness in here when you take a deep dive into these numbers. Maybe not to the same extent, but his career numbers with men in scoring position. I want to curse, and I very rarely do, but they're freaking crazy.
Are they fucking amazing?
Yeah, he said 365 in his career.
Shut up.
365 in his career with men in scoring position, a 423 on base, a 467 slug, an 889 career OPS with men in scoring position.
Great.
So maybe Kim bat on third.
Now he's going to hit 250 here at the Padres.
No, see, that's again, I mean, that's the natural, this is what it is. I mean, I'm talking about in 440 career plate appearances, he's hit 365 with men in scoring position. It's freaking crazy.
Maybe they should hit him in the 3-hole.
Maybe they should hit him in the 4-hole.
I bet there are some Padres.
Yeah, because he's a leadoff hitter. I just told you he spent more time as a leadoff hitter in his career than anywhere else. Because when guys get on base and don't hit for power, where they bat traditionally in the lineup is leadoff.
I remember my first time watching baseball. Padres lover 6.
Right. Is this your first time? How many points do you think the Padres are going to score?
Right. How many 3-pointers are they going to have tomorrow?
How many? Yeah.
It is a very cohesive lineup, and it just makes sense when you have lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty.
Yep.
Or I guess switch hitter if you have Profar in 5th, followed by righty, lefty, righty, righty, lefty. It just makes sense, guys. You're not putting Arraez as your cleanup hitter. As you said, John, how many games has he been a leadoff hitter for the Marlins?
5 times more than anywhere else in the lineup, maybe 6 times more.
Right. So he's going to be hitting leadoffs. He's hit for the Marlins leadoff predominantly all year long.
Well, no, all year. Every game this year.
Every game this year? Okay, cool. Every game this year.
Again, they suck, but that's not a reason not to bat him leadoff. It's not his fault they suck.
No, I mean, he's hitting 300. His on-base percentage, I think, needs to be a little better.
Yeah.
Actually, what is it this year? I think it's 340?
347 or something, which is good. It's not great. It's good.
You traded for a guy that is going to rarely strike out. Okay. The most strikeouts he's had in a season, John, is 48.
And he's always had more walks than strikeouts, right? every season. Is that accurate?
No. 2020, I'm not really going to count that. He had 11
That's
strikeouts, 8 walks. The 2021 season I just mentioned, he had 43 walks, 48 strikeouts. But the
what?
last
Okay, is career more walks than strikeouts?
career, he has more walks than strikeouts, correct?
Okay, that's still amazing in today's baseball.
You're telling me you don't want that in the leadoff spot? Because I do.
What's the knock? Give me again the knock on. Is it because if the knock is Profar, then I'm leading him off? If that's the only reason you're not batting Luis Arraez lead off is Jerks and Profar, then Luis Arraez should lead off. Do we all agree on that? Or do most of us agree? If the only reason he's not leading off is because of Profar's last 4 games, then I'm leading off Luis Arraez.
All right.
If there's another reason,
I want to run through everybody here. We got 500 people in the chat. If
you want to talk to all of them?
Yes. If you think Luis Arraez should hit leadoff,
well, I'm going to poll. I'm going to do a poll.
Do a poll.
What's
but
the
I
question?
also want who should be the leadoff hitter for the Padres, Luis Arraez or Jerks and Profar?
Love it.
Put in the chat right now. A 1. Put a number 1 in the chat. Spam the chat.
No.
1. No. I know.
So
We're doing
dumb.
it both. Shut up. We're doing both. 1
That's
in the
so
chat.
stupid.
Let me do this. God. 1 in the chat for Luis Arraez to hit leadoff. 2 in the chat if you want Profar to hit leadoff right now.
Yeah, except we can't add it up. So why not just do a poll?
I'm not. Oh my God. It's not the point, John. We can do both.
It's dumb.
I want to see everybody spamming the chat with a 1 to see how many people think that he should be leadoff hitter. My first time watching YouTube channels.
I've never seen that on YouTube.
I say it all the time.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
With me?
Not with you.
Oh, you see it all the time. I got it. The poll is 71% Arraez.
Okay. Perfect.
That does. Oh, shoot. I almost left it. Stream. All right. Murray says he rakes and doesn't strike out. Sound familiar? Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
He's great. I don't think this is going to be a Adam Frazier deal at all. Adam Frazier, he had a great
I thought you were
season
talking about Tony
year.
Gwynn.
No. I know he is talking about Tony Gwynn. But the one player you're like, oh, slap hitting guy that, you already have a second baseman, so you got another second baseman. Oh, remember that Adam Frazier deal? And you put him in left field and he completely sucked for the team. I think Adam Frazier was a career like 270 hitter or something.
He's having a good half a year, that's for sure.
And they put him in, he had a great half a year, made an all-star team.
Yeah. This is different, right?
Oh, dude, completely. Just a completely upgraded, different player. Luis Arraez, I mean, we both agree. We both would be very, very, very surprised if he doesn't hit here, right?
I would be. I mean, this is a guy that, again, it's been proven time and time again to produce. And multiple stops, Minnesota, Miami. I would be surprised. But JD's third makes a fair point. Remember when we salivated over Soto's career numbers. Now, it's not like Soto was so far off his career numbers in San Diego. I think people expected Superman, and they got like a really good player. I don't know what his career numbers were in terms of OPS in San Diego. It was pretty good. I'll look it up right now. Better than any other Padre over that stretch. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
His career numbers in a Padres uniform, 893 OPS. This guy wasn't exactly Adam Frazier. No one else had an 893 OPS combined over those 2 years for the Padres. No one.
Oh,
so
he was down.
Again, he was good. He was. That's fair. If you want to say he wasn't great, okay. I would say he was very effective. He was good. You gave up a lot to get him. Okay, it wasn't perfect, but he was pretty good.
And a guy that's a career 324 hitter lifetime. Even if he comes here and hits 290, which would be what, almost 30 points below his career average. 290 would still be like top 10 in baseball, I feel like.
Right.
And if all of a sudden he's hitting 275, something's wrong. But also at 275, you take that in a lineup. He's going to hit. I'm pretty confident in that. I'm not going to say he's going to hit 350 for this team. That'd be awesome if he did. But I would also be very surprised if he's a guy that hits under 290. just because of his numbers and just who he is. He doesn't strike out.
No, I'm with you.
You know,
I mean, Sad Friar thinks he's going to hit 750. And if he hits 750, it's going to be a huge acquisition. That'd be a really good year. To see
Could you
someone hit
imagine?
750 here, nice.
Could you
Be a really nice
imagine?
year. Be an
That'd be
awesome year.
nuts.
I don't see him hitting higher than 600, to be honest. That'd be hard to see him hit higher than that.
Well, Tristan Profar did
HBVV.
hit 600, so you got to be better.
That's
He has to be better
true.
than that.
For 3 games, you're right.
Yeah.
HBVV, thank you. He says, I'm going to bet on Louis A when I turn 18 next year. Okay. At Underdog?
Luis Arraez is now going to be my new favorite player on Underdog Fantasy.
Oh, dude, you're not kidding. Yeah, but you know what? The higher lower on total base is going to be like 2 every single night.
True.
That's a big number, or 1.5 every single night.
Yeah, if he hits.
Yeah. Guys, we do want to tell you about our longtime partner here on the wrap-up show, our friends at Aura. Their co-founder, Will, is a huge Padres fan, big supporter of the channel. They have offices right here in San Diego at Liberty Station. Amazing company. All of their products are plant-based nutritional products, including the probiotic I take every day for digestion. They also have sleep pills and immunity pills. They have pre-workout supplements and proteins for after workouts. And they have omega-3 oils. If you're taking a fish oil, you can take the omega-3 from our friends at Aura. Whatever you need, they have much more than that. You can click the link in the description down below or go to ora.organic. We all want to get healthier. And if you do desire to do that for yourself or your family, check them out. They have great, great products, longtime supporters of this channel. So check them out at ora.organic.
Yeah, they have everything you need to live a healthy lifestyle. They have the probiotics for gut health. If you have to work out, they have everything you need for all of our people that work out there on the daily. So go there right now, www.ora.organic. Pick up some supplements, and you'll thank us later.
You will definitely thank us later. I mean, to touch on the game, which we kind of did. I mean, this is the series now. You have to win. You go get Arraez. Arizona's really down. They've got injuries everywhere, including in the rotation. You have to win the series, obviously, by getting one of the next 2. You'd prefer to potentially sweep this thing, but Padres clearly have a little bit of momentum. They still have to go to Chicago on this road trip, which isn't going to be easy because the Cubs have been pretty good. And then you look ahead to next week, and the Dodgers are coming to Petco Park next weekend for a 3-game series. So it's a pretty exciting time when you consider the way Cease has pitched, the Arraez trade, the way they've played the last handful of days, the opportunity in front of them, I'd say, this weekend in Arizona. And then next weekend they come home and the LA Dodgers are at Petco Park.
They've been a pretty good road team. They're now, 9-6 on the year on the road?
Yep, that's right.
Okay. So
really good.
I know I said I would sign up for a 3-3 road trip, but if you win this
4-2
series
now?
versus Arizona, or better yet, sweep them, and you prove me wrong by winning 5 games in a row right after you lost 5 games in a row, then you want to get greedy and get more than that. But you also, the boost for the clubhouse, knowing that it's traded for Luis Arraez, has to be pretty big too.
I would think so. I hope so. I really do hope so. I mean, think about that now. Arraez, Bogarts, Machado, Tatis. I mean, what more are you get? If you're Manny Machado, what more do you ask for? You're here long term, and they keep adding to your roster. At some point, you got to bolster the whole thing, and you got to lead this thing in the right direction. And I'm not saying he's not right now. I'm not. Yeah. It hasn't been a perfect start for him. He did homer tonight, which is encouraging, and he should have homered 2 days ago as well, if not for that play in center. So, but it's I'd like to see Manny carry this thing. I'm not going to be like, Luis, go carry it. I'd like to see Manny carry it. I'd like to see Toddy carry it. I'd like to see Bogey carry more weight. I don't think he's ever going to carry the team. I don't think we'll look up at the end of the year and say Bogey carried the team, but he needs to carry more weight. But like, if this season isn't a success, the first person I'm turning towards is not Luis Arraez. I think he plays a role in the team's success, but Manny Machado, of course, is going to play more of a role, and so will Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah. I feel good. I feel better. I think everybody should feel better about this team today, right now, than they did 6 hours ago, for sure. And everybody knows now, because I saw a little bit of this a couple days ago, and even when they won 2 in a row, and maybe a little bit yesterday, that like, let's just be happy with maybe 500. No, the expectations have been cemented now. They are they're chiseled in stone. If you didn't think so before, well, think again, because today cemented it when the trade for Luis Arraez happened that it's playoffs or bust, not World Series or bust. Last year felt more like a World Series or bust because of how much money they were spending. This is a playoffs or bust. And
don't you feel so much better about this team than last year, though? I'm not saying roster, team. Don't
Right
you
now?
feel so much better
Yes.
about like their path or their possibilities?
Yeah, because guys that weren't performing last year are performing. In particular, Jake Cronenworth has looked much better. You're getting production from others. There's a grit to this team that there wasn't there last year. There's a fight to this team that there wasn't there last year. And there is a different feeling for sure now, and it's been it's even more cemented with the trade tonight.
Let's kiss and make up here with Padres Lover 619. Here's the thing. None of this is personal. Me and Jim do it back and forth to each other. And we've obviously been giving him a hard time. He says, I know
I
you
may
guys
have
are
lost it a little
joking.
bit. I'm sorry.
He played Division I college baseball. No, listen, we're kidding. And then he says, so stop with the disrespect. I know Paul more than 99% of people in this chat. OLL. It may be true. You know, we haven't obviously personally met. And then he goes on to say, if Arraez leads off, I'm not mad. That's amazing. I love it. I'm just all about chemistry when it comes to baseball. I don't mess with things when they work. That's a fair assessment. And then to put a bow on it, he loves us. But I love your guys' channel, Jon and Jim, and I listen to you guys on the radio too from 3 to 6. We're all good.
Right.
If you support our work. And by the way, we're only talking about baseball. We're not trying to make anything personal.
No. We love you.
There's a lot of,
even though you're wrong about
Arraez
not leading off. It's fine.
Yeah, we're not talking about like Eastern European politics or like the geopolitical climate. We're talking about the Padres leadoff hitter. So if we sometimes make it more serious than it should be, we'll take the blame for that. So thank you, man, for your support. Seriously. HBVV, thank you, dude, for the super and the membership. He says Padres have the Rockies 25% of their 8 wins. Oh, okay, the Rockies have 8 wins. You're saying 2 against the Padres. That's such as life. It's one series. I've moved on from it.
I have 2. I've moved.
Yeah, they had 3 out of 4 there. You know, they could have taken 3 out of 4, obviously. I mean, they should have 99% of the time with the lead, but they didn't, and they've survived it. They're 17 and 18. World's not ending.
No.
What do you think?
Well, hold on one second here, guys. All right, we're 36 subscribers away from 6,100. 34 subscribers. It's 36 subscribers. 36 subscribers away from 6,100. I'm tired.
What are you saying?
I don't know. We're 36 subs away from 6,100. So hit that subscribe button, and then just to make sure here, guys.
I'm listening.
Got to get this thing to 500 plus likes tonight.
You have to. I mean, if not, we're not. This is the last show ever on the wrap up show.
It's not, but we would much appreciate your likes to try to get this thing to 500 tonight.
Here's the
on
thing.
Replay and everything as well.
You know what? Since we have a zillion people here, why not do the shameless plug for merch? Right? I mean, we're here. We've been with you for an hour and a half. We got 619 Padres Lover that listens to Jon and Jim. So Padres Lover 619, get a Jon and Jim. Shoot, you can get the 98 look.
Yeah.
Right? You can get the, I don't know, maybe you're male or female. You can get the, right, the modern brown and gold look.
Yeah.
In addition to Jon and Jim, why not pick up wrap-up show gear? Okay? We got wrap-up show gear for you. Caps, sweatshirts, everything you could possibly want, Jim. We have.
Again, who should be the leadoff hitter for the Padres? Luis Arraez, 70% of the vote for him.
Is that what it is? Wow.
Yeah. So
putting a link in the chat. Anyway, there's a link down below. There's a link in the chat. If you support the channel and you want to pick up some wrap-up show or Jon and Jim gear, wear it to Petco Park, wear it when watching the Padres, wear it when you see us downtown, Naughty Barrel. Are we at the Naughty Barrel? Yeah, next Friday, right?
Padres Dodgers. It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a very, very good one.
Yes.
All right. Calvin says ban the 30%.
No.
I don't think we're going to do that.
No, we're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that. But yeah, good night for Padres fans. I mean, and I
Great
think for the
night.
team, I think
Great
for the
night.
team as well. I mean, it's what you knew the second they acquired him, or you started hearing the rumblings, and you saw Jeff Passan tweet, and he's never wrong. In that area, you were hoping the Padres would play well, and they did. I think first time through the order, they were 0 for 9. And then they had that huge fourth inning with the back-to-back home runs, and then Machado homers, and Tatis has his 3 hits, and Cronenworth has his 3 hits. The story is Dylan Cease, who again is dominant. So you couple a really good night off the field with what AJ Preller's able to accomplish with what they did on the field, and that to me is a terrific night. Yeah, you look up your 17 and 18, but you're betting on the future, I would say, here in 2024 if you're a Padres fan. So let's see if they can keep it going this weekend. And we will have another wrap-up show for you on Sunday evening. So please subscribe. We'll be with you Sunday night somewhere around 9:30 Pacific. We typically do our Sunday shows at 9:30 p.m. So join us on Sunday night. And again, a final time, subscribe. Year-round content for Padres fans. I hope to wake up tomorrow morning and see 6,100 subscribers because of you guys. So please subscribe. Hit that like button. We need those 500 likes. Follow us on X at Jon Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the super thanks if you're here on replay as well. We really do appreciate those. Support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. If you have any insurance need, ora.organic if you're looking to get healthier. And again, scan that QR code. Use promo code PODSWRAP if you're playing Underdog Fantasy. Dude, the audio.
You just pissed off John.
You ruined my night. I have a theory on it.
We'll keep it to ourselves.
And we'll see if we can get it fixed. But I'm not holding my breath, and it's pissing us off as much as it's pissing you guys off because we want to have the content available to you guys. That's the whole purpose of doing the show on YouTube. So we want better audio on the Jon and Jim channel.
Yeah.
What's up, Faye?
What's up?
Thanks, T. Kelly. Thanks, Kirsten. All right. Padres win. What was the final score? 7-1?
7-1, dominant win. Luis Arraez is a Padre.
Oh, wait, hold on. Thank you, Jonathan. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Did you guys discuss Kenny's comments on Tatis? We thought it was, I mean, it looks even dumber now because they're discussing trading Fernando Tatis Jr. when the Padres are acquiring, and he has got no trade. It keeps getting dumber.
Yeah. Oh, classic Dodger troll has come into the chat randomly.
What's he got? Robert Wilson?
I mean, is there any other fan base, honestly, that just is the ultimate, I got to go right up to you in the urinal and talk to you and give you shit when every other urinal is open?
Do you want, I mean, but do we ban? Do we time out? Do we tolerate?
I don't really care. Shut up, Robert. Dodgers suck.
With that, for Jim, I'm John. This has been the wrap-up show.
Peace out. Bye.
He's better than Ken Griffey Jr. Way better.